I hardly ever ride my bike. I used to ride my bike to and from work every day. I rode recreationally and, just to get to and from places. I don't get to do that anymore. I was already an experienced meditator. I'd been meditator for 20 years. I went into that course. I kind of knew that I was having these seizures. I had done research. I took a train there. It was a long journey. And I kind of, at that point, kind of realized what these were. But I still hadn't accepted it within myself. But I went into the course. I started eating the vegetarian food regularly right away, gave up the fats. Went in full carb, heavy carb diet that they provide for this. And within 2 days, I was seeing the food as gray. My vision turned whenever I looked at the food that was served us. We're served in silence. The meditation course is silent. I was looking at the food. It looked gray to me. I couldn't even see colors anymore when I looked at the food. I'm thinking, this is poison. I'm eating poison here. And I did continue eating. And the third day, after the 10 a.m. group sitting, I had very heavy seizures. I was sitting there in my room, and I remember the course manager knocking on my door for something, and I was very interrupted. It just startled me. And I went back to my cushion and sat back on my cushion, and I experienced what I knew consciously for the first time was a seizure. And then giving up the diet for 10 days. The course was 10 days. It was ongoing. I had at least 8 or 10 seizures per day that were pretty heavy, followed by patterns of not really being there. So when I'm off the diet, I don't know that I'm even able to be communicative, frankly. It's that bad. It's really that bad. And when my wife picked me up, I was going to schedule for the train home, but she knew something was up, and she waited for me at the entrance to the course. She drove that long way. She waited for me. She had some bacon grease in hand. She had it to me, put it in my mouth. I started feeling better immediately. It's an immediate reaction. Now, I didn't stop the seizures regularly for another 3 months after that. So I know that it takes time for me to build back into it, but I've never looked back on that again. I can't. It was a great experience, a wonderful experience, but I will never repeat. I can say my families outside of my spouse, they do not quite understand and frankly don't accept and always want to give me something that I can't be, quick to offer something that I can't be. So that's, there's that. I have to always go into, I can't do that, that kind of thing. And, that gets old, but it's just part of it. I accept that, my sisters are this way. My dad is this way. My son is this way. But I don't really have a lot of the challenges because since the crash, I've been pretty much homebound. I haven't been out a lot. So I don't see a lot of the outside world challenges that someone might. I can say my neurologist has kind of, not actively, he got my idea pretty quickly that I wanted to be on the keto, the modified Atkins diet and stay on it. But he established right from the start that that's not what you really belong on. The first thing is to try these drugs, and the second thing is to try surgery, and the third thing is maybe the diet. And he keeps saying that, but he can't deny that the diet helps me, and I think he is learning from that. I don't think prior to me, he didn't deal with kids, so he's an adult neurologist. He doesn't deal with kids. He hadn't had an adult who's been on it before. I'm his first, and I think he understands now it works. But that hasn't stopped him from trying to suggest drugs, and I have. I've been on at least a dozen different drugs trying to control the simple partials for me. I haven't given up the keto at all in that time. And they all send me into worse states. Every single one he's given me has made it worse and not better. So that's where I sit. But he's established, and he actually suggested, I should forget this part of it. There are no dietitians in Charlotte, at least at the time when I started this diet, who were familiar with the keto diet for seizures. None. I did find one established with Wake Forest University Hospital, about 50 miles from here. He got me my neurologist got me a referral to a neurologist up there. And I went to that neurologist, and that neurologist just said from the start, no, you haven't gone through all of my other programs. I'm not referring you to our ketogenic dietitian. So I got that negativity from there too, but I went and saw her anyway, and she said I was on the right track. She saw me on a personal level, and she suggested I just keep to what I was already doing. So I really wanted to get with a dietitian, but never had the opportunity. Of course, I miss working greatly. I hardly ever ride my bike. I used to ride my bike to and from work every day. I rode recreationally and, just to get to and from places. I don't get to do that anymore. The seizures contribute to where I have periods of confusion also. And that's maybe part of the TBI, brain memory issues too that are caused by this as well. But in any case, I'm established enough in that I don't even want to put myself out there to go down the road and suddenly forget what I'm doing or where I'm at. So I don't ride my bike anymore. I don't much get out into public. I go to the library a couple times a week, and I go grocery shopping with my wife if she wants. And that's a big thing. She's been my caretaker, though she probably takes more responsibility than she should. It's been an extremely huge amount of stress on her. And that is the biggest change I can say in my life. And I don't want to forget that one. That's the biggest. The amount of stress that it has added to my spouse's life. Just feeling that she has to make sure that I'm okay.